think he did anyway, because you're gonna see some of them come out to tell the story of how he tried to have them killed and how they got away.
Mm.
Blood in my eye.
Somebody said, "What did Whitney Houston do? I missed her."
This is why he wanted Whitney to do another studio album.
She couldn't produce.
She said her voice is gone, and he said he don't want to hear that shit. Go to rehab, take a couple of months and get yourself together and get in the studio. So she offered Bobby Christina to replace her for the studio album, right? And his response was, he said, the world don't want Bobby Christina, the world want Whitney Houston, and you gonna do this deal. And she wouldn't sign the contract. Because she wouldn't sign the contract, he went to his goons. The Jewish Defense League is a paramilitary group of Negroes that use pale faces to hide behind. Them the
Mm.
same niggas that shot Tupac or had Tupac shot. The same niggas that had to hit on Biggie. They had to hit on Easy E, Michael Jackson. They had to hit on Robin Williams, um, David Carradine. There's a lot of them. But it's the Jewish Defense League that is the paramilitary enforcement arm of the Anti-Defamation League, who work for the Zionist Jews that look like me and you, but they ain't us. They just want our shit.
Somebody said Empire killing them off for insurance policies, right?
Exactly right. It's not just insurance policies. They also have like a gambling room that they put money on which artist is going to go next.
Mm. Whew.
Politicians, public figures still getting. They should be running low at the tribunals on bodies by now, because they've been running that shit 18 hours a day in like 3, 4 different JAG courts for like 2.5, 3 years now. So they run all of this CGI, and actors just doing what they call face-off technology, pretending to be other people. When you see Joe Biden acting like Fire Marshal Bill, he can't remember nothing. That's Jim Carrey.
Mm.
When you see him come out and he's making a speech and it makes sense and it's real important and it's serious, that's James Woods. It's a couple more of them, but most of the other ones don't do speeches. They just do public appearances. They got face-off technology that the CIA use. Yeah, Robin Williams. They was mad at Robin Williams because he wouldn't participate in a pedophile cult. He been knowing about it for years, and they always tried to get him to get involved, but he wouldn't get involved, so they don't have no dirt on him. Since he wouldn't get no dirt on him, they had to get rid of him because he was making other people stand up to him, is how they seen it. It's the same
So,
with David Carradine. When David Carradine found out that uh, the movie Kung Fu was supposed to be Bruce Lee, and he started studying the ways of the Zen, he felt bad about stealing Bruce Lee's role in his own production and tried to make amends for it by trying to straighten out some of the dirt in Hollywood with the contract side from the writer to production. And they got tired of him always putting his 2 cents in shit, and he was starting to become too influential, so they had to get rid of him.
so my question is, since we on the celebrity talk and things like that, Jennifer what Hudson just got her own television show from what I've seen.
Mhm.
If I remember correctly, when she was coming out, or I guess getting a Grammy for Dreamgirls or something like that, her whole family was murdered. Remember, they were massacred
It
or
was her
whatever.
sister, her mama, and I think her
Her
nephew.
nephew, yeah.
That was her sister's ex got
So
out
they
of
said
prison. He got out of prison. He did that shit.
he did.
They
So it
got that.
wasn't a sacrifice.
No, no.
Okay.
He did that shit. He was mad about something between in their relationship. He was one of them tender dick jealous motherfuckers, them 9-vote niggas that y'all gonna drive crazy.
Not me no more.
9-vote ass nigga, tender dick. Look, y'all give him a shot and he can't behave himself. He done lost all his man. I'm just telling you like it is. You know I ain't gonna cut no corners.
Oh, I don't want you to. I want you to keep it. You already know. That's why you here. They talking about Brittany Griner.
I think that she's over there to collect an inheritance on the turnaround. They needed an excuse to keep her over there because she have to be there for a certain amount of time. So she probably got somebody in her family that traced their bloodline back to the old Russians. Russians used to look like us.
Yeah.
So
everybody used to look like us.
It's a good chance that she's over there to secure her family's inheritance. And they're using that other shit because if you really think about it, come on, vape pen.
Right.
How the fuck they know it was THC?
Yeah.
What if it was just a tobacco pen?
Right. Because I didn't went through the airports plenty of time with pens with weed in it.
Yeah, so they, in order for them to go, that's just an excuse. That's a cover up. Well, exactly what they covering up, I don't know yet. But I would bet my money on they had to hold her there for her to get the inheritance.
I got a question for you that you probably don't know, but you might know a little bit about. Is this real ID? Why they're doing a countdown towards that? Because I was in the DMV today, and the answer that the dude gave me didn't make no sense to me, and it didn't sit well with my spirit. The real ID ain't never sat well with my spirit. A lot of people don't know about it, but by May 3rd, 2023, they're saying that everybody needs to have this real ID in order to travel, even domestically on flights. Any federal buildings most will require this real ID, things like that. So, what's your take on that?
The real ID, if you go sign up for that shit, that's because you's a damn fool. All of that shit is to recontract you back to the dead system. That's it. Fuck they ID. Fuck they driver's license. Fuck they social security card. Fuck they jobs. Only reason why I can say that I walked out of mine 2 years ago and ain't looked back. Fuck them motherfuckers. If you can't treat the people I'm working with right, how about you really don't give a fuck about me? Deuces, I'm out.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right? So a lot of people leaving their jobs, but they was reporting on it. It was called the Big Quit. So if you Google the Big QUIT, the Big Quit, you can get some of the information. But it was getting so bad they had to stop reporting it because it would trigger more people to follow through with killing that system.
I know, because we out here in Vegas and it's one worker in every CVS and Walmart. I'm talking about Walgreens. I'm talking about every CVS and Walgreens. There's literally only one or two workers except the pharmacy.
And what a lot of people don't know about the pharmacist is if you're a licensed pharmacist, you got to go to work or you can go to prison.
Oh, because them pharmacies ain't losing no workers. They got the workers.
Look, if you had a crack spot that you could threaten the motherfucker to work there, that if he don't come to work, you going to prison, how much money you gonna have pumping out that crack spot?
Hella.
You did? That's all it is the pharmacia is conjure. It's conjure work. And the pharmacy is instrumental in it's a drug distribution network ran by the government. Like people always hear them talking about the DEA. DEA, 3-letter acronym. You know what it stands for?
No.
Drug Enforcement Agency.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna say something else, like it was some type of code.
Well, the question that I asked when I first heard it is, What the fuck is they really enforcing? When you go back and watch movies like Blow, the story of Pablo Escobar, then you'll see that the CIA, and then you read the Iran Contra, you can watch it on video on YouTube, Iran Contra hearings. They got caught. The United States government got caught bringing drugs in from South America, selling them in America. They got caught red-handed. George Bush, Ronald Reagan, who didn't have no choice because they tried to murder that motherfucker, and Oliver North. Oliver North is also one of the authors of Readiness Exercise 1984. For those who don't know what that is, that's a government program to round us up and murder us. In there's a subsection called Operation Cable Splicer. And Operation Cable Splicer say they need to watch the people coming from the south of the border. And this was instrumental in us reclaiming the land because New Mexico, Arizona, California, that's all Mexico. And Nevada.
Yeah.
They won that in the Mexican-American War, but they didn't really win it. They just said they did and start acting like they did. These motherfuckers just setting up shop, and we don't know what they doing, so we thinking they legitimate. They not legitimate. Never have been. That's why we can't find a treaty on file that they ever honored. They never honored a treaty because they never made none with us. They brought people over here from Mongolia. They were Huns, they were Persians, and they were Hindus. And then they presidential decreed them as the chief. Motherfucker ain't got no blood from over here. And the president declared him as the chief so he could sign the treaties. And he was a motherfucking slave that came over here. And that's why they had him on reservations for real. You know, you got your property, you got to keep track of where it goes. Right? So you put your dogs in the kennel and tell them to stay the fuck in the kennel. Catch you outside this kennel and tie your ass up. But we don't know our history, so we don't know about Andrew Jackson and the Trail of Tears and what his Indian Removal Act had to do with us. It's called the Indian Removal Act. And they was calling us the Indus. We the Indians, according to their literature. And the Indian Removal Act was to remove us from being registered as Indians, reclassify us through paper genocide, and call us blacks, Negroes, and colored folks. Nigga, I'm the goddamn chief. I'm Chief motherfucking Pontiac. I'm coming to get my people their shit back. You is in a de facto capacity. You can go now. We don't need you here.
Right.
So that shit all closed down.
So the IRS and all that is closed down and things like that. That's all shut down.
Right. So what they running now is what they call. So the last vestiges of power is a facade. Once the power has been taken down, the only thing left is the appearance of power. They want to look strong by telling y'all these agencies are still active. Military intelligence sees the CIA and the FBI and a lot of the high-ranking officials went to Gitmo, as well as the Justice Department. The military is in control, regardless of what anybody thinks. And Trump is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the United States of America. Or else Biden would have the nuclear football, and we'd be in the middle of a nuclear war.
Right.
Because how you gonna get a nuclear football to a motherfucker on the record of having dementia?
Right. They would have been had a field day with us. I even said that.
Yeah, so they can't let that clown have the nuclear codes because his capacity is non-existent. The bankruptcy of the United States on the show cause hearing, right? So they tried to get an extension on the bankruptcy. You can't get an extension. They had 3 extensions already. They can't get any more.
Damn.
Now they have to put up a shut up. Since they couldn't produce the national debt to pay the bankruptcy, the national debt on the turnaround becomes the national debit to rebuild our infrastructure. Because all the time we the ones they owe and we the ones they stole it from. We not eligible for reparations because reparations is a red herring to keep you from fighting for what's really yours.
Right. That part.
Fuck they reparations. That's toilet paper money. I don't care how much if they offer you a $500 billion. It's toilet paper money to our real shit.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the money. Find out who the board members of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. And when I did that, I found one account that had $385 quadrillion in it. That's some old ass money.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Quadrillion? Shit, I ain't
look,
even heard of
you can
that.
get everybody on Earth. It's 8.4 billion people and declining now. It was increasing, now it's declining. It's about 8.3 billion people now. You get everybody $1 billion and you won't even tip none of that off.
That's sad.
Everybody on Earth could be a billionaire, man, woman, and child. But the problem is if everybody was rich, who's gonna do the work?
Mm-hmm.
So under the new system, right, the Pharaoh, Thutmose X is the one who's going to reallocate the wealth according to the family banking networks. So the message to the ones like you, Drea, for your family, study how to set up a family bank and study how to set up a credit union. Setting up a credit union is the same thing as a family bank, only it's family members instead of just people who signed up to be part of the credit union. Once
Mm-hmm.
you understand the setup, then you got to put you a board together of different people in the family with that's financially literate that can help people say, well, your business plan sucks. So let's see if we can make this motherfucker workable.
Mm.
And then we can help our family members to get on their feet. And then we can see prosperity all over the land. But
Yeah,
the first
we
thing
gonna
we
talk
gonna do,
about this.
first thing we gonna do though is have Mardi Gras from coast to coast. North America and South America. And Brazil gonna have the biggest Brazilian parade you ever seen, and that shit gonna be broadcast up here too.
I'm ready. Yeah, it's time. It's time for that.
Yeah.
Somebody said, are there hidden pyramids in every state?
No, not in every state, but there's a lot of hidden pyramids on the land,
Mm-hmm.
right? But even the ones that don't have pyramids, they have other types of mound that's sacred places still,
Mm-hmm.
right? They got us broke up into 50 something states, but we only had like 4 major territories. So um, the 4 major territories will probably be broke down some because it's more people over here now.
Yeah.
C-sections, doctors is doing C-sections out of convenience and it has nothing to do with the patient or the baby at this particular present time in medical practice. The doctor got a golf game to go to. He's not finna sit around waiting on her to be in labor for 72 hours. Cut that motherfucker out so I can go hit this hole in 9. I got motherfucking 12 holes left in my game.
That's crazy.
So the C-sections, they have. I did a video on Facebook called "Desecration of the Holy Places." It's about mastectomies and hysterectomies because this is what they doing ritualistically to keep the women out of power. They snatching out uteruses and chopping off breasts.
Mm.
Any woman who understood her body would know that if her vagina is alkaline, it can't get sick. It can't carry a foul odor.
Hmm. Tell them.
But as soon as that motherfucker get acidic, it smell like who you? What the fuck is up in that motherfucker?
Yep.
Smell you can smell over her perfume.
Yep. That's true.
But I ain't the one to talk, so you ain't heard it from me.
So, we're in a time of we gotta love on each other and things like that. What is your advice to a lot of the youth? And because a lot of people feel like our people can't come together. Some people are stuck in that 3D mindset that we can't come together and that's not going to work if we come together. Like, what advice would you give for people that really want to be able to, you know, have that love for one another, and what is it that they need to do in order to get there?
Okay, so if the youth, tell the youth, the ones that feel like them, click up. Because it's a lot of people, like you say, don't believe that we can unify.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot of us that know we can.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones of us that know we can, we just doing that shit. It's just like this conversation.